Howdy, folks. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Kenneth Thomas, and on Wednesdays, I talk about different topics that have to do with wellness, and sometimes that has to do with, nutrition and different kinds of things like that. But today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about cleaning and disinfecting, and what exactly is the difference. Now, I do want to say, though, if you are somebody who is following me on Facebook and you want to be able to comment and have those comments show up to me while I'm live, you'll need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and that will take you to where you can give Facebook permission to let your comments come through, because I do all my lives using StreamYard. So that way, if you want me to be able to see who's commenting and be able to recognize you, you need to jump on there and do that. So let's get into it today. So there's a big difference between cleaning and disinfecting. They are related. They are very similar in some ways, but part of it, I guess, is, one is just getting all the dirt and regular stuff, germs away. And the other is actually killing off the disease-causing germs and bacteria. So let's get a little bit more into the definitions of these. So these are the definitions that are from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And I will be having the link to the website where I've got on their website where I got this information toward the end, and I will be sharing that. Now, cleaning is done with water, soap, or some other kind of detergent, and scrubbing, meaning, putting a little bit of elbow grease into it. This is just to remove germs, dirt, and impurities from surfaces. Okay. That's all that's really doing. This is just cleaning it. So disinfecting, however, is done with products that have chemicals or other ingredients in it that specifically are meant for killing the germs, not just getting them off, because some of them won't come off with just soap and water. This is actually killing off the germs that remain. Okay. So that is the big difference between disinfecting and cleaning. One is just cleaning it. The other is actually something that is specifically meant to kill off germs and bacteria. Okay. Now, we do know that we should be cleaning regularly. Okay. So when cleaning, you use a household cleaner and it's going to reduce the number of germs on surfaces. It's going to reduce the risk of infection, and it's also going to get rid of germs and harmful viruses and bacteria. Not completely, but it's gonna do most of that. You should be cleaning high touch surfaces. This is like light switches, doorknobs, countertops, any of that kind of stuff. You should be cleaning that regularly, okay? And before and after you have visitors, it's a good idea to clean all these high touch surfaces as well. And part of it is we don't want to have the house looking like this nasty. But the other part of it is it's a courtesy to make sure that anything that's in your house isn't going to make them sick. And then conversely, you clean after they leave, because who knows what they may have brought in with them. And that's not necessarily meant to be a negative thing on anybody's guests, but people bring things in. Now, cleaning your other surfaces in your home, this should be done, as needed, especially if they're visibly dirty. So if you can look at something and it doesn't look clean, go ahead and clean it. One of the other big things to do is to make sure that you're using an appropriate product for the surface that you're cleaning. Okay, if you've got something that is made from natural woods, you're not going to want to clean that with the same thing that you're going to use to clean something that is metal or something that is glass. Conversely, if you've got something that is made from a natural product like leather, that's going to have to be cleaned differently as well. So pay attention to what it is that you're cleaning and what you're using on it, because you can really damage and shorten the life of some of your items. Like if you've got really nice wood cutting boards, and if you're just sitting there using regular cleaning and disinfecting stuff that you would use on your glass countertop or your marble countertop, that isn't necessarily the best thing to use on wood. Okay. And you could actually end up leaving something on the wood because it's porous that could end up making you sick because it would be ingested from the food that you cut on the cutting board. So making sure that you're using the appropriate type of product for a specific type of surface is very important. And also note that there's very big difference between what is a general surface and what is a food preparation surface. Okay, folks, if anything is going to be coming in contact with food, you need to be even more careful about what you use and how you clean it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about when to use disinfecting. All right. Disinfectants should be used when you got somebody in your house is sick, or if you live with somebody who is at a higher risk of getting illnesses because they have a weakened immune system. And this could be due to, chemotherapy. This could be due to some other kind of compromised immune system, due to age, due to all kinds of factors. So if you are living with somebody who has a higher risk, you're going to want to disinfect your home more often. Okay. Now, one of the most important things that I would always stress is you need to read the labels for these disinfecting products that you're using, because you want to make sure that you're using the proper product for the type of surface you're cleaning. You also want to make sure that if it says that you need to pre-clean it, that you do so, okay? Because sometimes these products aren't going to work if it's having to get through all the normal dirt and stuff that's there. So clean everything, disinfect after you've cleaned, all right? So let's talk a little bit about how to use disinfectants safely. Again, read and follow the directions on the label, okay? This is so important. You need to make sure that the way you're using these products is safe and that you're getting the effectiveness that you need from it, okay? Now, depending upon the type of product, you may be recommended to wear protective equipment, gloves, goggles, a breathing apparatus, depending upon how severe the cleaning product or disinfectant that you're using is. Make sure that you're following those guidelines, okay? Another big key thing is you need to understand what the contact time is for your disinfectant. And what that is you need to leave that disinfectant wet, not just let it dry out. You need to leave it as a wet solution long enough on the surface to be able to kill off the germs and the bacteria that you are trying to clean and kill off with that product, okay? Another big key thing is make sure you're using really good ventilation if you're using these products indoor and it's necessary, okay? So open windows, run fans, whatever you got to do, make sure you've got proper ventilation. Now, if the directions tell you to dilute the product with water, the best thing to do is to use room temperature water, not hot and not cold, unless it's, of course, says so on the label. Now, here's a big thing, especially for those of you who have kids. Always label your bottles where you have your diluted cleaning and disinfectant solutions. And one of the reasons this is so very, very important, if your child gets into them or something happens to somebody else, like it's splashed in their eye or what have you, you need to know exactly what chemical solution that is. So that way you can tell poison control. So that way you can tell the emergency medical services when they get there, this is what happened. This is what they got on them. This is what they ingested. You need to know. So always label the bottles. Always. Now, some products come with a bottle already done up with the label on it and everything else. And all you got to do is mix it according to the directions and you're labeled and you know what the solution is and everything else. So some products come that way. All right. Otherwise, make sure you get a good marker and mark that stuff yourself. Another thing that you want to make sure that you do, you want to store your harmful chemicals where they cannot be reached by children and they can't be gotten into by pets, because some cleaning solutions or products, they may smell good enough to your pet that they might want to try to chew on it, or that smells good, I want to taste it. I know an example of that is coolant for your vehicles. Apparently it smells really delicious to your dogs. So this is one of those things that you want to make sure that anything that you're using that's a harmful chemical is out of reach of both your children and your pets. All right. And here's another big thing. Never mix products or chemicals. Okay. And the reason is because some of these chemicals, if you mix them together, you can actually make something that is more lethal than you might realize. Just accidentally mixing these two things together, boom, now you've got what could amount to a low-grade chemical weapon that is going to cause massive damage and could be fatal, if not just causing severe injury. So you never, ever mix products or chemicals in any way, all right? Keep them separate, use them separately, follow the directions for them. Another big thing is, now, I would hope that some of this goes without saying. Don't eat, drink, inject cleaning or disinfecting products into your body. All right. And here's another thing. Don't put these kind of products on your skin. They are not meant for your skin. They will cause harm. They can get absorbed into your bloodstream. Now, depending upon the product, depending upon the surface, which part of your skin it gets on, it can be inside your system and absorb through your skin in as fast as 26 seconds. Okay. Other things may take longer depending upon where it got spilled and that kind of thing, but it can happen so fast that if you aren't immediately rinsing it off, and I mean like immediate from spill, crap, got it on me, rinsing it off, if you're not doing it quickly enough, it can get into your system, and that can cause you a whole lot of other issues besides what kind of contact issues you may have from that product. Okay. And again, this is something that I would say should make sense to people, but you never know. You never wipe or bathe pets or any animal with any kind of disinfectant product. Okay. Now, I know you've seen those commercials where they're using that dish detergent and they're getting the oil and stuff off the ducks and the birds. And oh my gosh, isn't it wonderful? Yeah, you know what? That product may be safe enough to use that, but that's not a disinfectant. Okay? That's a detergent. Disinfectant should never be used on pets and animals, period. End of story. All right? Now, here's an important warning from the CDC. And this is going to bring me into what I really, really wanted to get to about some of this today. All right. Some cleaning and disinfecting products can trigger asthma. They can cause all kinds of breathing issues and that kind of stuff. So if you are somebody who suffers from asthma, you need to take extra precaution with what you're using to make sure that you don't have an issue. All right. And that is a warning straight from the CDC about their stuff. Now, I will say that you should remember the lung study. Now, I'm going to add a link, and it's not going to be there until tomorrow because I can't add the links to the end of the page. But the video that will be linked to this after tomorrow will be to my previous Wellness Wednesday, where I talked about household cleaners in the lung study. So I go into a lot more depth there. But basically, back in 2018, there was a lung study that was 20 years long that was completed. They had over 6,000 participants in it. And these were people that used a variety of spray and liquid cleaners. Some of them were professionals. Some of them were people who only cleaned once a week. and they were testing lung capacity. They were doing all kinds of x-rays and that kind of stuff. And what they found, folks, is that people that use the national brand cleaning products as little as once a week, their lungs had as much damage as somebody who smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. A pack of cigarettes a day. And these are people who are only cleaning their house, their apartment once a week. Okay? So this is not like this is somebody who is out there doing it professionally and everything else. They were included in the study. I'm sure their stuff was even worse. But the fact of the matter is that just once a week was enough to cause lung damage like you were a pack-a-day smoker. So we really need to be paying attention to what we're using in our house and how we're using them. Now, one thing I will say is there are safer alternatives. This is my daughter, Freya. She's using one of the safer alternatives that we use. This is a disinfectant that kills 99% of bacteria and germs, and she's using it with just a microfiber cloth. It doesn't require her to be in any kind of respirator. It's not going to affect her lungs. It's safe to use on food surfaces, but it's a disinfectant that is just as effective as those other national brand cleaners and disinfectants that you see where it says 99% effective against bacteria and stuff. Okay, yeah, this is too. And it's registered. This isn't just something that this company is claiming. This is something that has been tested and is recognized by the United States government as actually having that same level of efficacy. Okay. And as you can see, we just hang those cleaners up underneath our kitchen sink. One, our kids are a little older, but it really wouldn't matter because these chemicals, these aren't chemicals. These cleanings aren't the same kind of chemicals that you're used to seeing. These are all eco-friendly, safer, greener, healthier to have around. And there's no danger. The most that might happen if somebody ingested one of these is they'd get an upset stomach, but it's not going to kill them and it's not going to require an emergency room visit. All right. So there are safer alternatives out there. And they not only are they out there, they actually are out there and available at that work just as well as what you're going to buy in the store, but they're safer for you. Okay. Apparently somebody just came to the doorbell. My dog's barking at me, but we're almost done here. So here's the resources that I mentioned. A lot of the information that I got is straight from the CDC and that when and how to clean and disinfect your house. Okay. I looked at a lot of different places when I was doing my research for this, and they pretty much covered the same thing that everybody else did. All right. Now, the lung study info there, that is the actual link to the journal, the medical journal from Europe that published the lung study information. Okay. So again, this was a study that was done with over 6,000 participants, and it was done over 20 years. So there's lots of great information there for you. All you need to do is be able to go to the website and you can look at it. Now, if you're not somebody who's going to understand all the scientific stuff, I do, but I don't. You can just Google lung study, 2018 lung study, and you'll be able to get that information, and they'll be able to, and then you'll be able to start seeing what we're talking about with needing to be careful about what kind of cleaning stuff and products that you're using in your house. All right. So to sum it all up, know what you're using, use the right thing on the right type of surface, always read the labels, never mix products together. If you don't already come like these were, as you can see there, these products all have labels on the bottles. That's what I was talking about. What we get them already with the labels and everything else printed for them. And all we have to do is mix the solution up appropriately, and the bottles are already labeled for us. But if you don't have that, make sure you are labeling them for safety reasons. And of course, keep in mind, if there's anything that's given as a warning or anything, read the labels, Because if you're not reading the labels, there's no telling what kind of harm you might be doing to yourself. Okay. So if you're catching this on Facebook, again, I use StreamYard. So if you're not able to comment and have me recognize your comments while I'm on live, you'll need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and I'll be able to, that will allow you to pop up where I will be able to see you. And if you're catching this on the Facebook, please follow so you'll get the notices when I'm going live. And again, I look forward to seeing what your comments are. And if you have any questions, please ask. I'd love to share this information because as far as I'm concerned, this is some of the most important information you can share about how dangerous it is with using disinfectants and stuff in your house. It's very important, but if you're not doing it right, you can cause a lot of problems. And then if you're catching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that like button. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for Thursday's Thoughts. And in the meantime, folks, remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. So you have a great afternoon, folks, and I will talk to you tomorrow.